What if the person you trusted most was hiding a secret that could kill you? In 2016, a charming woman named Evelyn Hart became a masterclass in deception. By day, she was a devoted wife. By night, she orchestrated a web of poisonings that left 3 men dead, and her bank account bloated. But her downfall came from a mistake so small, it's almost laughable. Stick around to find out how greed and charm collided in one of the most audacious true crime sagas of our time. Evelyn didn't need a knife or a gun. Her weapon was simpler: trust. She preyed on lonely men, seduced them, and drained their lives, literally and financially. But here's the twist. None of her victims saw it coming. Not her husband, not her lovers, and certainly not the neighbors who watched her cry at their funerals. So, how did she pull it off? And what finally stopped her? Before we dive in, pause and think. Could you spot a killer hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's break down the story of Evelyn Hart, the woman who turned love into a death sentence. To understand Evelyn, we need to go back to where it all began. Born Evelyn Carter in 1978, she grew up in a small town outside Chicago. Her parents worked multiple jobs to make ends meet, but money was always tight. Her father, a factory worker, suffered from chronic pain and became addicted to prescription drugs when Evelyn was 14. Her mother, a part-time cleaner, eventually left him, leaving Evelyn to bounce between relatives. By 16, she'd stolen her first credit card. By 20, she'd maxed out her student loans and dropped out of nursing school. But Evelyn had a gift, one that would later become her weapon. She knew how to read people. She knew how to make them feel seen. Evelyn's charm wasn't just natural. It was strategic. She studied psychology textbooks, memorized body language cues, and practiced her smile in the mirror. She once told a friend, "People want to believe in love because it's easier than facing loneliness." That belief became her blueprint. In 2008, Evelyn married Daniel Hart, a 42-year-old banker with a modest but stable income. On the surface, they seemed perfect: candlelit dinners, weekend getaways, and public declarations of love. But behind closed doors, Daniel was controlling, and Evelyn resented his frugality. He tracked her spending, refused to let her work, and belittled her for dreaming too big. By 2011, she'd secretly maxed out his credit cards and drained their savings. When he threatened to cut her off, she made a decision that would haunt their town for years. Daniel's life was built on routine. He grew up in a strict household, graduated top of his class, and climbed the corporate ladder through sheer discipline. Colleagues called him Mr. Reliable, but friends knew he struggled with intimacy. His last ex-girlfriend said, "Daniel loved order more than people." He probably thought marrying Evelyn would fix her. But Evelyn wasn't broken. She was hungry. After Daniel's death, Evelyn reinvented herself as a grieving widow. She joined online support groups, attended charity galas, and perfected her sad smile. That's where she met Marcus Cole, a 55-year-old real estate mogul who'd recently divorced his second wife. Marcus was charismatic but lonely, a man who'd built an empire but couldn't hold on to love. When Evelyn approached him at a gala, she didn't talk about herself. She asked him about his dreams. That's all it took. Marcus's ex-wife later described him as a golden retriever in human form, too trusting for his own good. He'd inherited his father's construction business at 30 and turned it into a multi-million-dollar venture. But success came at a cost. His first marriage ended when his wife accused him of prioritizing work over family. His second wife left after discovering his gambling addiction. By the time he met Evelyn, he was desperate for someone who'd love him unconditionally. Evelyn's final target was Thomas Green, a 67-year-old retired widower who'd spent 40 years teaching high school English. Thomas was a man of quiet habits: morning crossword puzzles, afternoon walks, and weekly phone calls with his daughter, who lived overseas. His wife, Margaret, had died of cancer 5 years earlier, leaving him adrift. When Evelyn responded to his online ad for a companion, she played the role perfectly. She cooked his favorite meals, laughed at his dad jokes, and even joined him at church. But Thomas's daughter noticed something odd. Evelyn never let him answer the phone when she called. Evelyn's charm was her weapon, but how did she pull it off? Share a trait you think makes someone vulnerable to manipulation. We'll reveal the answer shortly. Now, let's dissect how Evelyn turned love into a killing field. Evelyn's first test came in 2011. Daniel had started suspecting her of financial infidelity. To silence him permanently, she turned to her nursing school knowledge. Arsenic, odorless, tasteless, and slow-acting, became her poison of choice. She mixed it into his daily vitamin supplements. For weeks, Daniel's health declined. He lost weight, vomited constantly, and complained of joint pain. When he finally collapsed, Evelyn called 911. But by then, it was too late. Fast forward to 2014. Evelyn had reinvented herself as a grieving widow, attending high society events to meet her next target. Marcus Cole was an easy mark. Charismatic but naive, he fell hard for her. Evelyn waited 6 months before starting his slow poisoning. This time, she used thallium, a toxin that mimics cancer symptoms: hair loss, nausea, and confusion. When Marcus suggested chemotherapy, Evelyn convinced him it was pointless. She refused to let doctors run tests. By 2015, he was dead. Phase 3 began in 2016. Thomas Green, the elderly widower, believed Evelyn was his guardian angel. She moved into his home under guise of caregiving. But behind closed doors, she tampered with his diabetes medication. Insulin overdoses mimicked heart failure. When Thomas's body was found slumped over his morning coffee, no one questioned it. After all, he was 67. Old age happens, right? But Evelyn made one fatal mistake. She got greedy. She started flaunting her wealth: luxury cars, designer clothes, and a sudden obsession with offshore bank accounts. Neighbors whispered, and one of them, a retired nurse named Linda Porter, started digging. Evelyn's luck ran out not because of her victims, but because of a nosy neighbor. What did Linda discover? Linda Porter had cared for cancer patients for decades. Something about Evelyn's story didn't add up. First Daniel's organ failure, then Marcus's cancer, then Thomas's heart attack. Too many coincidences. So Linda started asking questions. She contacted a medical examiner and requested archived autopsy reports. The results were damning. Elevated levels of arsenic, thallium, and insulin were found in all 3 men. No prior medical history to explain it. Meanwhile, Evelyn's bank accounts told another story: sudden deposits totaling $6.7 million. The puzzle pieces clicked into place. Detectives raided Evelyn's home in 2017. They found syringes labeled with Thomas's name in her garage. Hidden under a false floorboard were printouts of life insurance policies and a draft email to a 4th lover, this one in Miami. The subject line: ready for Phase 4. Under interrogation, Evelyn remained calm. She claimed Daniel had poisoned himself out of guilt, that Marcus's death was a tragic accident, and that Thomas had died peacefully. But when shown a text she'd sent Marcus days before his death, "You're free now," she broke. She confessed to killing Daniel and Marcus, but denied murdering Thomas. He was going to die anyway, she said. The final confession hinged on a single text message. But here's the kicker: the number it came from was registered to Evelyn herself. Evelyn's trial began in 2018. Prosecutors painted her as a calculating predator. Her defense argued she was addicted to love. But the evidence was overwhelming: forensic toxicology reports, financial records, and the damning text message. Jurors took just 6 hours to convict her on 3 counts of murder. At sentencing, the judge called her one of the most dangerous criminals to walk free in modern history. Life without parole. No chance of appeal. Victims' families were stunned. Daniel's sister said, "She was like a daughter to me. I still can't believe it." Marcus's ex-wife added, "She played the role so well, even his friends defended her." Was Evelyn a monster or a product of a broken system? Drop your take below. Evelyn's case sparked nationwide reforms. Hospitals tightened protocols for nurses handling medications. Financial institutions now flag sudden inheritance spikes. But the real takeaway is simpler. Trust is earned, not given. Evelyn preyed on people's desire to believe in kindness. She weaponized their loneliness, their hope, their love. So next time someone seems too good to be true, they probably are. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and always, always trust your gut. This story proves evil can wear a smile. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit subscribe and check out for our next video.